Hi Scorpio, welcome to your March 2018 Life Path reading. It's Raina here. So I'm going to be using a few oracle cards rather than the tarot. And this is going to be kind of food for thought for you rather than some kind of fortune telling session. I usually use tarot cards, but this time around I want to utilize some of my oracle cards because it provides a different flavor and maybe different messages that may resonate with you. In addition, well, I'm going to actually start the reading with a Law of Attraction card. But before I even begin, there's a couple of things that I kind of wanted to clear up, especially this first bit, because I did get a comment about shuffling in front of the camera and picking cards in front of the camera. Now, shuffling can't do, no can do, because I don't know how to shuffle. See, if I were to take these cards and go like this, I would be like, you know, they'd fall halfway across the room. I have my camera set up to be right in front of me so that the mic is right here. I don't have like an external mic, any kind of thing other than the actual camera mic, and everything is set up to be very close by so I can actually see what I'm filming. I honestly don't know how people have those setups where it's overhead. You know, they must trust that everything is being recorded. But I like to have my finger on the, you know, nearby where I can turn it off if I have to and maybe salvage the recording, because editing is also difficult now that YouTube has changed its policies. Okay, so, but anyway, that's one thing. So either people believe me or not that I'm actually randomly picking cards. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. It's not about the cards anyway. It's about the messages, and so that's one thing. And I do, a lot of times I do, like, kind of like put the cards in different piles and pick from them. But in this set of readings, I choose not to, especially after that comment. I'm not going to give people that kind of power over how I do things. And that just makes me more self-conscious anyway. And then the other thing is I just got a comment, see that never a dull moment, that I yammer on too much. So you might think, you might agree with that person because of what I'm doing right here. But I don't always go into things, you know, before doing the reading. But if that person, who happens to be a Gemini, by the way, so irony is indeed rich, thinks that about me, that's cool. That's cool, but I don't understand why people feel the need to say it to other people. There are so many people that I've watched and I don't resonate with for one reason or the other, and I just move on. I don't write, oh, you do this or you do that. I mean, that's just like, I don't know. I just find that very rude. And, you know, I'm not going to say this in front of every video, but I just kind of wanted to vent. I hope it doesn't bother anyone too much. Maybe I'm just feeling sorry for myself, but it's kind of, I don't know. It kind of gets distracting sometimes when people do that. Because I don't need somebody to flatter me, but by the same token, I don't want somebody to try to tell me how to do my readings, whether it's how, you know, how to film the shuffling and all that stuff, or to be quiet more, and just to get to the bottom line them. So the bottom line is, give me my future. I'll just sit back and I won't interact with my life, and you can just tell me what's going to happen to me. No, I don't do things like that. Everyone is responsible for their own lives. You know, readings on YouTube, if you're going to make decisions based on that, you've got some issues. That could be like, you know, you can look at this reading for possible green lights if you've already thought of things, but definitely you have to, you know, base things on your own life and your own sense of what is going on for you, what's the best for you. Okay, so rant over. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you know what's interesting? The Law of Attraction cards do not have like a back that is universal. They have a picture. I picked empowerment, by the way, for you. It seems like it has almost like an Asian feel. I don't know. But anyway, as I was shuffling, you know, both sides have the words, so I kind of like look away so I don't see what the words are. But as I was shuffling, I happened to look down at a card that I thought maybe I was going to pick, and it was empowerment. And I said, well, I don't want to pick a card that I've already looked at. So I kept shuffling, and I got it again. So that's cool. I recognize and appreciate all that inspires me to feel empowered. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, empowerment. You know, I love synchronicity. Empowerment. Empowerment is the opposite of looking to something external, to whether it's a person, place, or thing, to base your choices on. And you will notice that people who do that, they're the first ones to blame that outside entity when things don't go the way that they want. So it's almost like using that person, place, or thing as an excuse so that they don't have to take responsibility for their own life. So don't be that person. And I know that a lot of you are not. You're very powerful. You're a very powerful sign, Scorpio. This card kind of jumped out, so I'm going to take it. Yin Yang, 22, master number. Sweet. This is from the Energy Oracle deck, I think it's called, by Sandra Ann Taylor. And I just got contacted by a company that wants me to, you know, they were going to give me a free set of cards to use in one of my videos. So I'm going to do that in the future. And it's going to be, I think it's a shamanistic deck. So I look forward to receiving those cards so that I can share them with you all, because it just came hot off the presses. I've never had any company reach out to me before, so I must have hit the big time. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I don't know if I've ever gotten this card. I don't use oracle cards very often, so it always kind of irritates me when I get the same ones over and over again. So it's always nice to get different ones. Okay, that's the Earth Magic deck by Stephen Farmer. And then the last is my favorite deck of oracle cards, I should say. And that is the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. You know what's weird? I think I heard this name just today or yesterday, so that's another synchronicity if that's true. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's start with the Energy Oracle deck. The Yin Yang. I'll hold it up once I get the key phrases are passive, active, intuitive, logical. And it's interesting because I'm recording this on the full moon in Virgo. And these keywords are kind of like that, what we call the polarities, of which yin and yang obviously are as well, dark and light, or feminine, masculine. And for Virgo and Pisces, they're actually both feminine signs, but with Virgo, we're talking about the sixth house of health and work, it's an earth sign, Virgo, so there's like that tangibility, there's that concrete kind of a vibe from Virgo, and then you have the 12th house that Pisces rules, and it's kind of, there's no boundaries. It's the spiritual realm, so everything is a little bit hazy, but it's intangible. And so it's interesting that they had these polarities. This card represents an energetic life cycles, and its purpose is to help you identify the particular cyclic energy moving into or out of your experience. In its upright position, it heralds a yin cycle, where most of the action seems to be happening under the surface of things. This is a time of great receptivity, intuition, and gestation. External circumstances may be forcing you to go within and examine present activity. It's an especially good time for completion, so wrap things up. Yin cycles often call you to be passive, yielding, and reflective, so open up to these sides of your nature. Being more than acting is the intention here. And the affirmation is, I am open to understanding the cycle I am in, and I am willing to utilize its energy beneficially. All that I need is already part of me. So, having said that, anytime there's a full moon, there's a polarity with the sun being in the opposite sign. So in this case, the sun is in Pisces, and Pisces is the 12th house, where that's the last house. That is about wrapping things up. So that definitely is a time to look at. And in March, when the sun for you is, because you're Scorpio, you're dealing with the sign before you, which is Libra. And at the end of the month, actually, there is, at the end of the month of March, there's a blue moon, and it is in Libra. So that is going to be in Scorpio's 12th house. This particular cycle, you have Virgo. As I record this, you have a full moon in the 11th house of hopes and wishes. But the 12th house is all about wrapping things up. So as the month of March ends, you will kick off a cycle like that. And so that's a great time for reflection and also for letting go. Okay. And so let's bring up the Earth Magic card, the Rainbow. Let me see what that represents. It's difficult for any of us to ignore the majesty of a rainbow and its gentle power inherent in its display. It's such a simple blending of the elements coming together in perfect visual harmony to create one of the most beautiful sights in all of creation. Although there are diverse meanings attributed to the sight of a rainbow, a common thread is that it offers blessings. The artist of this image created this rainbow to commemorate a friend who had just died. She worked on it whenever she felt her love and appreciation for her friend, the blessings he brought to the world and to her life, often after a spell of grief. The storm has passed, and it's time to enjoy the refreshing beauty of this cycle, even though it has been difficult to appreciate any sense of purposefulness in what you have endured lately. You can now, as they say, count your blessings. Do not just look at the brighter side, adhering to some academic mantra that has no heart or depth, but do so slowly and with genuine gratitude that is expressed up close and personal. This ever-evolving process of life itself is a blessing, an opportunity to exist as a human being on earth. The planet is a beautiful garden, even if it does not always appear to be so. Sometimes it is only when you look back at a memory of an experience that you can truly see the blessings that have come from them. Bless your difficult or painful experiences and let them go. And I just wanted to share with you an experience I had. It was last October, and I had gone to my uncle's funeral, and he was almost 100 years old. So, I mean, he had lived a very long life. And the funeral was in a suburb of Chicago. And I chose to, because I don't drive, so I chose to bring my bike with me. I took it on the bus and actually rode out, because the place it was kind of a far-flung place. And it was a beautiful day. It was like, this was in October, so it was like supposed to be like an autumn day, but it was really warm. And after the funeral, I wanted to go by their old house and just kind of relive some of the wonderful memories, and just kind of, there's a park nearby, and sit there. And I did that, and it was really kind of a neat experience, but it was getting kind of dark, and I wanted to get home. And all of a sudden, as I'm riding my bike, and all of a sudden the sky just opened up and just like raining cats and dogs. And I got lost. I didn't know where the bus was anymore, because I was going around in circles. It was kind of like one of those places that doesn't have like straight streets. And I ended up, the rain was so pounding, and I wear glasses. I'm nearsighted, so I couldn't see, I had to take them off, and I was just like soaking wet. It was getting cold, and I finally made it to the bus stop, but I'm just soaked to the bone. And I get home, and I can't remember how I found out, if somebody said, "Hey, look outside," and I noticed a rainbow. I think it was a double rainbow. And the thing that was so wonderful about that is that it kind of confirmed to me that, it's kind of like the struggles in our lives, just like this definition in the booklet. And it's letting you know that everything is okay after all. So it ended up being a very memorable experience for me. And so I hope that you Scorpios out there, if you've been going through something difficult, that it is getting better for you, and you can tell by this card. Okay, that's that. And then we're going to go with, now let's see if I can say his name, Melchizedek, I think is how it's pronounced. Let me get his information. I think I said that he looked like Kenny Rogers, which isn't very, serious of me to be joking around about this, but Melchizedek, higher learning, you have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. Okay. Melchizedek. Okay. I'm glad they have the phonetical, they have it spelled out like that so we can know how to pronounce it correctly. Melchizedek is a high priest who is mentioned in the Bible's book of Genesis and many other sources too. He is here to assist the earth through the ascension process, which is basically moving everyone and everything back to a state of love and harmony. He appears with bright light around him and a long white beard to match his ancient high priest ways, and is said to have his own order of light-filled priests who are able to help spiritual people develop their gifts and qualities. As he works on a high energetic level, we can connect with him through sacred geometry and by focusing on ancient star-shaped symbols. You have learned so much to this point and are learning more every day. You're recognizing all the great lessons your experiences and challenges have brought to you, and are preparing for a transition or inner ascension where you will move beyond another level of fear and into the inner sanctum of your heart and soul. Become aware of patterns, ancient symbols, and signs being sent to you from the universe. there's a sense that you are now able to focus in a new way and offer greater light to the world. Melchizedek and his order are with you now, leading you towards spiritual wisdom. Meditate and connect with their light. Well, I would say, Scorpio, that this reading has an emphasis on inner, more passive things for you right now. And as I record this, we are in the sign of Pisces, a fellow water sign, and a yin sign, a feminine sign. So you rule one of the water houses, the 8th house, and Pisces does as well. And this is like inner stuff. So Pisces trines you, and that means that it's a harmonious time for you for most of March, in terms of sun signs, of course. And it doesn't mean that the rest of March won't be harmonious, but I'm just saying in terms of what these two signs represent, it is the time for you, and it's really good for you to do those kinds of things. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and just to let you know, I do have an astrological version of this that I offer as one of my readings called Life Path Career Reading, for people that are kind of looking for that sort of thing, as well as like natal charts, chart interpretations and things of that nature. So please check out my website if you're interested. It's listed below. It's linked below. It's RainaMoonAstrology.com. Take care, Scorpio. Bye.